Okay, I know the matchup that everyone else wants is Anne versus Luz, but Anne versus Wordgirl is funnier because it is mini version of Goku versus Superman. Okay, as for the reason they're going up against each other, because let's be real, they wouldn't fight, so it's probably gonna go down like this. Man, there's nothing to do. I'm so bored. Wanna see which one of us is stronger? Yeah, sure. Nothing else better to do. Alright, let's get started. Let's throw away Anne's base form because that's not gonna do anything against PBS Kid Supergirl over here. But now let's take a dive into Anne's first form. So according to Matt, the creator of the show, somewhere in a live stream, I haven't found the live stream, but I see a lot of people say he said this, that the lasers the Frobos shoot are light speed lasers. So, to take this to heart, when she's diving down onto Andreas in this form, she's moving around the same speed as the lasers. So we can comfortably put her relativistic to the speed of light. Or maybe a little bit faster, but around the speed of light. And it makes sense, because she said in the journal, when she had Marcy's journal, that it felt instantaneous. That she could just look someplace and she will instantly be there. So, speed of light definitely would feel like teleportation through her eyes. As far as strength goes, I would say possibly city level, considering that she was able to kick a Frobo into low orbit, being able to be thrown into a building and collapsing it, and her punches shaking the entirety of Los Angeles through the shock waves alone. So a pretty strong powerhouse over here, but how does that compare to Becky? Not too well, considering Wordgirl is so much faster. She flew from the moon to the sun in about a second, and that is about 500 times the speed of light. She also threw an army of robots into the sun from ground level, which is also an equivalent speed. So she's literally 500 times faster. And as far as strength goes, she was stated once by her brother that she lifted a mountain with her pinky finger.
One time, Wordgirl lifted up an entire mountain with her pinky, and she didn't even chip a nail. But
we don't know which mountain it is, but let's just say it's one of the mountains in the US, because I'm assuming she's in the US. So let's say Mount Whitney, which is probably around 35 billion tons. The weight an average human pinky finger can handle before being crushed, let's say, is a pound. And the average top weight a human can lift should be like 135 pounds. Using this, we can estimate her theoretical top lifting strength, which would be over 5 trillion tons. That's over 28 times the weight of Mount Everest. And this is relatively consistent with her punching strength. She can casually destroy reinforced steel, not just by destroying Toby's robots, which I assume is made out of reinforced steel, but she can easily just walk through it. Minimal effort, she can just walk through it. So, using that in comparison to an average punch thrown by a human, she would be punching with the strength of over 864 trillion tons of force. That's enough to cause planetary extinction 12 times over. So obviously, poor Anne does not have a chance in this form. Girl, you're absolutely running circles around me. Hey, don't sell yourself short. You could beat a lot of the villains I face. Really. Well, I guess we could take this up a notch. Okay, let's talk about Anne's second form, her full Calamity powers. With the help of Sasha and Marcy, she held back the moon. Now, even just a third of the moon's weight is over 16 quintillion tons. Over 3 million times stronger than Wordgirl's theoretical best. So in a test of strength, Wordgirl's not gonna have a good time. But Anne doesn't exactly get faster. In fact, her best feat is when she first gets these Calamity powers and is zipping around laser beams. Though we can make a kind of an estimate, giving this image here that she only was using, at that time, 5% of the full Calamity gem. That just means now she's only 5 times the speed of light. We could highball and say that Anne in that one scene was 10 times the speed of light, but that still just makes her 50 times the speed of light. And Wordgirl is still 500, so despite Anne's incredible strength, she won't be able to touch her. Now Anne could try to counter this by overwhelming Wordgirl with her energy constructs, but still none of her attacks are that fast. So Wordgirl will still just like zip around them, and she could also just freeze her with her ice breath. And on top of that, she could also just wait out the time limit. Yes, Anne can hold her form for a long time, much longer than both Marcy and Sasha, but it's still a time limit where Wordgirl can keep her powers 24/7. So it's gonna be tough because Anne is way stronger, but Wordgirl dominates in everything else. Okay, that was impressive. You are definitely stronger than anyone I've ever faced, probably much stronger than Miss Power. So, you know what? Yeah, you should be proud. Are you kidding me? I honestly don't understand how anyone could be that fast. You know what? Screw it. Let me show you my best. Say what now? It's time for Anne's final form. 3 stones Anne. Straight up, forget the math, she can destroy the earth. That amount of energy to obliterate the moon in such a short time, just turn that around and earth would be gone. Nothing Wordgirl has ever done or faced compares to that destructive power. But once again, there's no speed feats. We can times our previous highball, 50 times the speed of light, by 3, and it would be 150 times the speed of light, which is closing the gap, but still Wordgirl is around 5 times faster. And on top of that, Anne's final form actually makes her more vulnerable, because her body cannot take that much power. Even before she shot off the blast, she was already cracking from it, so her body's unstable. So yes, Anne could one-shot Wordgirl at this point, but now Wordgirl can also do the same. So it would be basically a quick of the draw. And guess what? The quickest wins the draw, and the quickest, well, is Wordgirl. So yes, Anne would definitely be the most powerful opponent Wordgirl would ever face, but with a combination of her amazing speed and her own power, Wordgirl wins tests of feats between these two more times than not. So you're an exact copy. Yep. That would give me existential dread for years on end. Oh no, it definitely has given me nightmares, but I've already gone through this once before, what's twice over? What? Don't worry about it.